stuff here. Thank you so much for coming to our third and closing night of The Man Who Came to Dinner. I'm going to give you a little bit about the show, and we're also going to do a little bit of housekeeping, and then we'll get started. But first, let's begin in prayer. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit, amen. Lord, thank you for the gift of theater, for the gift of storytelling and the ability to make each other laugh and smile, to weep, to celebrate as one. We thank you especially for the amazing talents of our fantastic students, for the parents who drive them to countless rehearsals, and for all the people involved in creating this. In a special way, with the thanks to the students, we thank you for their gifts, and we always remember that these gifts are not to glorify ourselves. In all things, we use our gifts to look our eyes up to you and to glorify you. And so we pray, glory be to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit, as it was in the beginning, is now, and ever shall be, world without end. Amen. All right, thank you so much. So, a couple of things about the show. This show is written by George Kaufman and Mouse Hart in 1939. It is actually based on the story of a friend of theirs, a man named Alexander Woolcott. He came to their house. He was a very famous old radio broadcaster, and he was obnoxious and essentially terrorized them the entire time they were there. And they said, well, at least he didn't break his leg and get stuck here. And then they said, that would make a really good play. So that's kind of the premise of the show. It's about old Hollywood. It's a great love letter to the era. It's funny, it's charming, and it kind of examines the human person and the ridiculous eccentricities that we all have, and the ridiculous way that Hollywood and fame may make a person behave. It's one of the, if you ever heard of Kaufman and Hart, it is because you've probably heard of You Can't Take It With You. It is one of the top 10 most performed high school plays, and knowing that, I picked their other play. These kids have done a really fantastic job, and I cannot thank you enough for attending. I'm going to go through some thanks very quickly. So I want to thank our special build team, Cody Israel, Luke Allen, Spencer Moxley, Josh Collins, and AJ Williams. These boys are a part of the reason that you have the amazing set you're about to see. We could not have done it without them. They came in 2 weekends in a row and gave up their Saturdays to make this amazing set possible. And one of these boys doesn't even go here anymore. AJ is one of our fantastic alumni. I also want to thank Jamie Ball, Tanya Cornell, and Mia Brock for helping with costumes, hair, and makeup. Daniel McBride and Jennifer Roof are the reason we have our headshots, our bios, and all of our publicity. And of course, our amazing Mr. Ritzel for helping to build the set. Let me think of everything else done. Yes, one last little announcement. Tonight is our technical senior night, so if you'd be so kind to stay after the show for an additional 10 minutes while we recognize our seniors, it would be much appreciated. The show runs in about 2.5 hours with intermission, so sit tight. We'll have one 10-minute intermission in the middle of the show. And with all that being said, please enjoy The Man Who Came to Dinner.
to see him?
Why, of course. He'd love it. I'll be upstairs, Mother, if you need me. Oh, thank you, Hugh. Tell your father to come down the stairs, will you? Mr. Whiteside is coming out. I will.
Is he really coming out this morning? I brought a plant. Do you think it's all right if I give it to him?
Why, how lovely.
And some Casper jelly.
Why, how nice. And who do you think that was on the telephone just now? Mr. H.G. Wells from London. And he's had calls and messages from all over this country and Europe. Dr. Defoe, Felix Frankfurter, the Mountain Woods Observatory, the New York Times. I just can't tell you what's been going on. I'm simply exhausted.
There's a big piece about it in this week's Time. Did you see it?
Really?
Your name's in it too, Daisy. Listen. Portly Sheridan Whiteside, critic, wit, lecturer, radio orator, intimate friend of the great and near great, found his celebrated wit no weapon with which to combat an injured hip. The Falstaffian Mr. Whiteside, while trekking across the country on one of his annual lecture tours, met his Waterloo in the shape of a small piece of ice on the front doorstep of Mr. and Mrs. Ernest W. Stanley of Massalia, Ohio. Result? Canceled lectures and disappointment to thousands of adoring clubwomen in Omaha, Denver, and Points West. Further result, the idol of the airwaves rests until further notice in the home of a surprised Mr. and Mrs. Stanley. Possibility? Christmas may be postponed this year? No! What's that mean?
A small patch of ice on the doorstep of Mr. and Mrs. Think of it!
Of course, if it were my house, Daisy, I'd put a bronze plate on the step right where he fell.
Well, of course, I felt just terrible about it. Just never goes to dinners anywhere, and then he had to come here, and then this had to happen. Poor Mr. Whiteside. But think of it. It's going to be so nice having him here with us, even if it's just for a couple of days. Think of it. We'll sit around in the evenings and discuss books and plays, all the great people he's known, all the great places he's been, and he'll talk in that wonderful way of his. Who knows? He might even read Goodbye Mr. Chips to us.
Daisy, I can't wait any longer. Mr. White, good morning, ladies.
Good morning!
Ernest, what do you think? He's getting up and coming out this very morning. Mr. H.G. Wells telephoned from London, and we're in time. Look.
Oh, I don't like this kind of publicity at all, Daisy. When do you suppose he's going to leave?
Well, he's had quite a shock, and he's going to need to rest at least a few days, Ernest.
Well, I'm sure it's a great honor his being at the house, but it is a little upsetting. Phones going off all the time, bells ringing, messenger boys running in and out.
Pardon me, Mrs. Stanley. Have the cigarettes come yet?
Oh, they're on their way, Miss Cutler. My son went for them.
Thank you.
Oh, this is Miss Cutler, Mr. Whiteside's secretary.
How do you do? May I move this chair?
You mean he's coming out now?
He is indeed.
Oh, he's coming out! Oh my goodness! Mr. Whiteside is coming out!
Sarah, Mr. Whiteside's coming
Oh,
out.
I'm so excited! I'm simply just look at the Jew! Oh my God! Good morning, Dr. Bradley.
Good morning, good morning. Well, here we are, merry and bright. Bring our little patient out, Miss Spring.
I may vomit.
Good morning, Mr. Whiteside. I'm Mrs. Stanley, remember? And this is Mr. Stanley.
How do you do, Mr. Whiteside? I hope you are better.
Thank you. I'm suing you for $150,000.
How's that? What?
I said I'm suing you for $150,000.
You mean because you fell on our steps, Mr. Whiteside?
Samuel J. Leibowitz will explain it to you in court. Four of those two hearts be standing there like the kiss of death.
No! I got jelly!
Made from your own foot, I have no doubt. And now, a few small matters to take up. Since this corner druggist at my elbow informs me that I shall have to remain quiet for at least 10 minutes. Due entirely to your stupidity and negligence, I shall have to carry on my activities as best as possible. I shall require the exclusive use of this room and that drafty sewer in which you call the library. I want nobody to come in or out while I am in these rooms.
What do you mean, sir?
We have to use the stairs to get to our rooms, Mr. Whiteside.
Isn't there a back entrance?
Why, yes.
Then use that. I shall also require a room for my secretary, Miss Cullen. Let's see. I will have a great deal of incoming and outgoing phone calls, so please no one use the phone. I sleep until noon and must have quiet through the house until that hour. There will be 5 for lunch today. Where's the cook?
Mr. Whiteside, if I may interrupt.
You may not, good sir. Get your clammy hands off my chair! You have the touch of a sleazy cobra! And now, can you all please leave quietly, or must I ask my secretary to pass among you with a baseball bat?
Well, we'll see you, Daisy. I mean, we'll call you. Wait, we mustn't use the phone. Well, we will see you.
Goodbye!
Now look here, Mr.
There's
Whiteside.
nothing to discuss, good sir. Considering the damages I have suffered at your hands, I'm asking very little. Good day!
Good work.
I'll call you later from the office, Daisy.
Not on this phone, please. Here's the menu for lunch.
But I've already...
It will be sent up to you on a tray because I am using the dining room for my guests. What are those cigarettes?
My son went for them. I don't know why he... Here, Sarah. Here is the menu for lunch. I'll have mine upstairs. On a tray.
Young lady, I cannot stand indecision. Are you going to go up the stairs or come down them?
Good morning, Mr. Whiteside. Oh, here are your cigarettes. I'm so sorry. I had to go to 3 different stores.
You were gone long enough to have a baby!
Upstairs.
Is there any man who suffers as I do from the gross inadequacies of the human race? Where are you going? I want you to go in there and read the life of Florence Nightingale and find out how unfitted you are for your chosen profession.
Well, I think I can leave you in Miss Cutler's capable hands. Shall I look at it again this afternoon?
If you do, I'll spit right in your eye.
Ah, what a sense of humor you writers have. Well, it's not worth mentioning, but I've been doing a little writing myself about my medical experiences.
Am I to be spared? Nothing!
Would it be too much to ask you to read it while you're here?
Try it.
Well, Mr. Whiteside, you are in luck because I happen to have a copy with me. The story of a humble practitioner or 40 years in Ohio doctor.
I shall drop everything.
Well, thank you, and I do hope you enjoy it. Well, I'll see you on the morrow. Keep that hip quiet, and don't forget those little pills. Goodbye.
Here, Maggie, take this 40 years below the navel or whatever it's called.
Well, I must say you have certainly behaved with all of your accustomed grace and charm.
Look here, puss. I am in no mood to discuss my behavior, good or bad. I have no desire to cross into this cheerless threshold. I was hounded and badgered into it. I now find myself, after 2 weeks of racking pain, accused of behaving without charm. What would you have me do? Kiss them?
Very well, Hillary. After 10 years, I should have known better than to try to do anything about your manners, but when I finally give up this job, I may write a book about it all. Through the years, with Prince Charming. Has a ring to it, right?
Listen, repulsive. You are tied to me with an umbilical cord made of piano wire. And now if we may dismiss the subject of my charm, for which incidentally I make $1,500 per appearance, maybe we can get to work. Oh no, we can't. Yes?
My name is Harriet Stanley. I know you are Sheridan Whiteside. I saw Miss Holly framed green against the pine trees. I remembered what you had written about Tess and Judy Obscure. It was the nicest present I could bring you.
My God! What was that?
Well, that was Mr. Stanley's sister, Harriet. I've talked to her a few times, just quite strange.
Strange? She's right out of the Hound of Baskerville. I swear I've seen that face before somewhere.
Oh, nonsense, you couldn't have.
Well, let's get to work. Here, press this in the doctor's book. I see no reason why I should support maiden-form brassiers.
Well, here are some telegrams.
What date is this?
That was December 10th.
Send a wire to Columbia Broadcast. You can schedule my New Year's Eve Christmas Eve broadcast for the studio in New York, for I'll be returning east instead of proceeding to Hollywood. Stop. For special New Year's Eve broadcast, I will have as my guest Josh It's Catherine Cornell, Shearer, the Lunts, and Dr. Alexis Carroll on standby from England. Whiteside.
But are you sure you'll be all right by Christmas, Sherry?
Of course! Send a wire to Mahatma Gandhi, Bombay, India. Dear Boo Boo, schedule changed. Meet me, Calcutta, July 12th. Dinner, 8:30. Whiteside. Send a wire to the editor of the Atlantic Monthly. Don't worry, Stinky. Pop will arrive. Whiteside. Arturo Tuscanini. Do you know where he is?
I'll find him.
Counting on you, January 4th. Metropolitan Opera House for my annual benefit home for paroled convicts. As you know, it's a very worthy cause and very close to my heart. Tibbet, Rethberg, Martinelli, and Flagstad have each personally promised me to appear. Afterwards, will you have a quiet supper with me and Ethel Barrymore? If it's for Miss Stanley, tell them she's too drunk to talk.
Hello? What? Hollywood?
If it's Goldwyn, hang up!
Oh, hello, Banjo!
Banjo, what? Give me the phone.
Banjo, you old so-and-so, how are you, darling?
Give me that.
Oh, shut up, Sherry! I miss you, Banjo. Are you coming east soon?
Stop dribbling and give me the phone!
He'll be fine. Well, in fact, he's actually screaming at me right now. Okay. All right. Fine.
How are you, you old fawns behind? And what are you getting me for Christmas? Ha! Me? What news, Banjo, by the way? How's the picture? How wacko and sloppo? No, I'm all right. Yes, in very good hands. Best horse doctor in town. What about you, Banjo? Having any fun? Playing any cribbage? What? You're what? Having a portrait painted. By whom? Milt Gross? Not really. Well, from here I go to New York. I stay there for 12 days, and then I'm off to Dartmouth for the annual film festival. You wouldn't get it. Well, I can't waste all my time talking to Hollywood riffraff. Kiss Luella Parsons for me. Goodbye. He took $1,400 from Sam Goldwyn playing cribbage last night. And afterwards, Sam said, Banjo, I am never playing garbage with you again.
What's this about having his portrait painted?
Salvador Dali.
Huh.
That's all that face of his needs. A surrealist. What do you want now, Miss Bed Fan?
Medicine every 45 minutes.
Where were we?
Well, actually, here is a cable from that dear friend of yours, Lorraine Sheldon.
Let me hear it.
Sherry, my poor sweet lamb, have been in Scotland on a shooting party with Lord and Lady Connard, and only just heard of your poor sweet hip. I'm down here in Surrey with Lord Bottomley, and sailing Wednesday on the Normandy. Cannot wait to see my poor sweet Sherry. Your blossom girl, Lorraine. In the words of the master, I may vomit.
Don't be bitter, Puss. Just because Lorraine is more beautiful than you are.
No, Lorraine Sheldon is a very fair example of the small but vicious circle you move in.
Pure jealousy if I've ever heard it. Give me the rest of this.
Well, Lorraine Sheldon, Lord Bottomley, yes.
Why, it's from Beverly Carlton.
Oh, England's best actor, the crown jewel.
Dear baby's breath. What's this I hear about a hip fracture and some bordello brawl? Does this mean our Hollywood Christmas party's off? Just finished the new play, Pago Pago, and it's superb. Myself and a ukulele leave Honolulu tomorrow, in that order. By the way, the Sultan of Zanzibar wants to meet Ginger Rogers. Let's face it, Oscar Wilde.
He does travel, doesn't he? You know, it'd be nice if the world went around Beverly Carlton for a change.
Hollywood next week. Well, why didn't he stop over on his way to New York? Cinema Cable, Beverly Carlton, Royal Hawaiian Hotel, Honolulu. If these people intend to have their friends using the front door,
What do you expect them to use, a rope ladder?
I will not have these mildewed pus bags rushing in and out while I am...
Good morning, Mr. Jefferson. Good morning, John.
Go away! The Stanleys have been arrested for bootlegging!
Good morning, Mr. Whiteside. I'm Jefferson of the Massalia Journal.
I'm sorry, Mr. Whiteside is seeing no one.
Really?
So will you excuse us? Good day.
Mr. Whiteside seems to be sitting up and taking notice.
Well, I'm afraid he's not taking notice of the Massalia Journal. Do you mind?
You know what? If I'm going to be insulted, I'd like it to be by Mr. Whiteside himself. I never did like carbon copies.
Touche. I've never heard one. And in Massalia, too, dear man.
Oh, will you please leave?
Mr. Whiteside, sir, how about an interview?
I never did. Go away.
Mr. Whiteside, I don't think you understand. If I don't get this interview, I lose my job.
That'd be quite all right with me.
Mr. Whiteside, you used to be a newspaper man yourself. You know what editors are like. Mine's the toughest one that ever lived.
You won't get around me that way. If you don't like him, get off the paper.
Yes, but I happen to think it's a good paper. William Allen White could have gotten out of Emporia, but he didn't.
You have the effrontery in my presence to compare yourself to William Allen White.
Only in the sense that White stayed in Emporia, and I want to stay here and say what I want to say.
Such as what?
Well, it's hard to put into words, Mr. Whiteside. It'll all sound like an awful lot of hooey, but the Journal was my father's paper, and I'd like to continue where he left off. It's kind of a sentimental point with me, the paper.
So, you own the paper?
That's right.
So this terrifying, this dread journalistic apocalypse is you yourself?
In a word, yes.
I see.
In the future, Sherry, let me know when you don't want to speak with someone. I'll show them right in.
Come here. I suppose you've written that novel.
No, I've written that play.
Well, I don't want to read it. My eyes want to, well, goodies over there. Bring it. Will.
Mr. Whiteside, the trouble is that your being in this town comes under the heading of news. Practically the biggest since the Depression. I've just got to give a story.
My candy.
Mr. Whiteside, you know you mustn't eat candy. It's very bad for you.
and she lived to be 102. And when she had been dead for 3 days, she looked better than you do now. Where were you, old fellow? You were about to say.
I can at least report to my readers that chivalry is not yet dead.
We won't speak of it. Now that you've won me with your pretty ways. What do you want?
Well, how about a brief talk on famous murders? You're an authority on murder as a fine art.
My dear boy, when I speak of murder, I get paid for it. I made more money on the Snyder Gray case than the lawyers did, so don't expect to get it for nothing.
Well then, what do you think of Massalia? How long are you going to be here? Where are you going? Things like that.
Very well. A, Massalia is a town of irresistible charm. B, I cannot wait to get out of it. And C, I'm going from here to Crockfield for my annual benefit home for paroled convicts, a cause for which I have raised over $500,000 in the last 5 years. Tell me, Jefferson, have you ever been to Crockfield?
No, I've always meant to.
As a newspaper man, you ought to go, instead of wasting your time here with me. It's about 75 miles from here. Did you ever hear about the story of how Crockfield started?
No, I haven't.
It is one of the most endearing stories of our generation. One misty St. Valentine's Eve, the year was 1901. A woman who gave her name to an Arab lay dying in Windsor Castle, Victoria. Maud Adams had not yet caused every young heart to swell as she tripped across the stage as Peter Pan. Irving Berlin had not yet written the first note of a ragtime rigadoon that was to set the nation's feet a tapping. And Elias P. Crockford had just gotten out of the state penitentiary. Destitute, embittered, cruel of heart, he wandered that St. Valentine's Eve into a church. But there was no godliness in his heart, no prayer upon his lips. In the faltering twilight, Elias P. Crockfield made his way up to the poor box. With callous fingers, he ripped open that testimony of a sinful people's faith. Greedily clutched a few pitiful coins within. Then, a child's tremor broke the stillness of the night. "Please, Mr. Madden," said the voice, "will you be my Valentine?" Elias P. Crockfield turned. There stood before him a bewitching creature of fine, golden curls cascading down her hair like a Niagara. And in her outstretched hands, a humble Valentine. A locked door was opened in the heart of Elias P. Crockfield that night, and an idea was born. 25 years later, 3,000 ruddy-cheeked convicts are gambooling along the lawns of the Crockfield home, frolicking in the depths of its own swimming pools, broadcasting with their own symphony orchestra from their own radio station. Elias P. Crockfield has long since gone to his maker, but the girl of 5 has now grown up to beautiful womanhood, and they call her the Ghost of Crockfield, for she is the wife of the warden. And standing there, in the main hall of Crockfield, in between an El Greco and a Rembrandt, in a simple frame, is a humble little Valentine.
And in the men's washroom every Christmas Eve, the ghost of Elias P. Crockfield appeared in one of the booths. Will you sign this, please?
This aging debutante, Mr. Jefferson, I keep only in my employ because she is the sole support of her two-headed brother.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Whiteside. You've been very kind. Oh, and by the way, I'm a cribbage player if you ever need one.
Fine. How much can you afford to lose?
I usually win.
We won't speak. Come back at 8:30. We'll play three-handed with Elsie Dinsmore.
Fair.
Shelley! Max! Max, you enchanted beetle hound! What are you doing here?
Yeah, I explain, Shelley. But first, I
I kiss my little Maggie.
Oh, Metz, darling. What a surprise!
Jefferson, you are standing in the presence of Professor Adolf Metz, the world's greatest authority on insect life.
How do you do? How do you do? Well, Shelly?
Metz, stop looking so adorable and tell me why.
Well, you are sick, so I come to cheer you up.
Jefferson, Metz has been 2 years in a cave with only plant lice. He read 3 pages in the Encyclopedia Britannica. Don't you, my little hookworm?
Oh, please, Sherry, you embarrass me. Look, I have brought you a gift while you while wasted hours. I said to my students, I want to give a gift to my sick friend, Mr. Sheridan Whiteside. So you know what we did? We made for you a community of Paraplantia Americana, commonly known as the American cockroach. Behold, Jenny, Roach City! Inside here, Jerry, there are 10,000 cockroaches! 10,000! Sarah, what do you think? And if all goes well, Sherry, in 1 week, there will be 50,000!
If all goes well, I mean, what could go wrong? They're in there, aren't they?
Quiet, please!
Look, inside here, you can watch them as they live out their whole lives. Look, in there is the maternity hospital. They are fascinating creatures. Fascinating.
Well,
Maggie, please! These are my cockroaches! Go ahead.
And with these earphones down inside, you can listen to them. Well, go ahead and have a listen!
Interesting. How long has this been going on? Jefferson, we are in for a treat. Max can smell cockroaches from a mile away.
10,000? Right. Aha! I'm in Latin Americana! There are cockroaches in this house!
I beg your pardon! Oh, Mr. Whiteside, I don't know who this man is, but I will not stand here!
Then go upstairs! These are probably my luncheons. Men stay for the day, of course.
Certainly.
Jefferson, stay for lunch? Glad to. Maggie, tell them there'll be 2 more. Yes, Baker, come right in, come right in. Jefferson, these are the fruits of that humble vow. These men, now serving the final months of their prison, have chose to enter the ivy-covered walls of Crockfield. They come here today to learn from me a bit of its tradition. You're Michelson, aren't you? Butcher shop murders.
Yes,
I thought I recognized you. Jefferson. That last one is Henderson, the hatchet. Always chopped his victims up into sandwiches. Remember?
Oh, yes.
Your lunch is ready, Mr. Whiteside.
I'm down.
Good. Let's go right in.
Can I help you?
Thank you. We're having chicken liver tetrazzini for lunch and cherry jubilee for dessert. I hope everything you tell me is a buzzer with gastric juices. John, please close the door on our way in. I don't want anybody crying on their betters.
Do you know how much these cost?
no, please, you've come too far. Too far.
Miss Cutler?
She went out
Out?
with Mr. Jefferson?
All right, if I turn up a few lights, Mr. Whiteside.
Go ahead, John.
And Sarah has something for you. Made it special.
She does? Where is she? My souffle queen!
Here I am, Mr. Whiteside.
She walks in beauty like the night, and in her deft hands the work of Michelangelo. Let me taste the new goodie. Poetry! Share poetry!
I put a touch of accents in the dough. Do you like it?
Ambrosia!
And I ordered your carrot and Maryland for dinner.
Sir, I have known but 3 great cooks in my entire lifetime. The Godiva of Egypt has one. My great aunt Jennifer another. The 3rd, Sarah, is you.
Oh, Mr. Whiteside!
Tell me, how would you like to come to New York and work? You and John.
Wow, Mr. Whiteside.
Sarah!
It kind of takes my breath away.
Why, it would be wonderful, Mr. Whiteside, but what would you say to Mr. and Mrs. Stanley?
Just goodbye.
They'd often mad, wouldn't they? They've been very kind to us.
Well, if they're ever in New York, we can have them over for dinner. If I'm not in town. Now run along and think over your decision. Oh, and Sarah, remember to put plenty of sherry in that terrapin. Miss Braid! Miss Braid!
Yes, sir.
What have you got in there anyways, a sailor?
I was just washing my hands.
What time did Miss Cutler go out?
A couple hours ago?
Mr. Jefferson called for her?
Yes, sir.
All right, all right. Go back to your sailor.
Mr. Whiteside,
No.
dear Mr. Whiteside, may I show you a few mementos of the past? I somehow feel that you love them as I do.
Why, I'd be delighted. Tell me, have we met before?
Oh no, I would remember it. It would have been one of my cherished memories. Like these. Look, here I am with my first sweetheart under our lovely beechwood trees. I was 8 and he was 10. I have never forgotten him. What happy times we had, what?
But I tell you I'm going to!
There's someone coming. I'll come back.
Oh, Daisy! Be quiet! Mr. Whiteside, I want to talk to you. I don't care if you are busy or not. I have just received a bill from the telephone company for $784. Oklahoma City, Calcutta, Hollywood, Australia, Rome, New York, New York, New York, New York. Now I realize, Mr. Whiteside, that you are a distinguished man of letters. However,
Yes, of course we both.
for the last week, we have not been able to call our souls our own. We haven't eaten a meal in our dining room once. I have to tiptoe out of the house in the morning. Oh, I come home to find convicts eating at my dinner table, butcher shop murderers, a man putting cockroaches in my kitchen. That's not the point. I go to the bathroom and bump into 22 Chinese students who you invited here. I tell you, I won't stand for it, no matter who you are.
Have you quite finished?
No, I am not. I'm going down into the cellar this morning. I'm going, and I'm looking. It's dark, and I trip over that octopus that William B. sent you. I tell you, I won't stand for it. I want you to leave this house, Mr. Whiteside, as soon as you can, and go to a hotel. Let me alone! I've told you not to touch me when I'm upset. That's all I've got to say, Mr. Whiteside.
And quite enough, I should think. May I remind you, good sir, that I am not a willing guest in this house. I have been informed by my doctor that I must stay quiet for at least another 10 days, at which point I shall leave so quickly that the wind will knock you over, I hope. If, however, you insist on my leaving beforehand, therefore causing me to suffer a relapse, then I shall sue you for every additional day I am held inactive, which will amount to, I assure you, a tidy sum.
This is outrageous! Outrageous!
As for your other petty complaints, those 22 Chinese students that came straight from the White House, where I assure you they used the bathroom there too.
Mr. Whiteside, look, this thing didn't mean any of what he...
Yes, I did! I meant every word of it!
There is only one cause in which I see some slight justice. I do not expect you to pay my telephone bills. I shall see to it that restitution is made. Can you provide me with the exact amount?
I certainly can, and I certainly will.
Thank you. I shall advise my lawyers to deduct it from the $150,000 I'm suing you for. And I'll ask you not to trip over that octopus, which once belonged to Chauncey Depew.
Ernest, you have to understand, Mr. Whiteside is a guest here!
Hello, operator. Yes, I'd like to speak to the Messiah Journal, please. Hello, Journal. Is a Mr. Bert Jefferson there? When do you expect him back? Oh, no message. Oh, come here! Come on! I'm not going to fight! I am by nature a gracious, charming person. My beer attitude is on the side of kindness and amiability. I've been observing you two for the past week, and it seems to me that you two are two extremely likable young people. I'm afraid that when we first met, I was definitely unpleasant to you. For that, I am sorry. And I ask that in the future you not treat me like something out of Edgar Allan Poe. How do you like my tie?
Thank you, Mr. Whiteside. This makes things much pleasanter, and I think the tie is very pretty.
Well, now that we're on speaking terms, Mr. Whiteside, I can't help but to say that I've been admiring all of your ties.
Do you like this one?
I certainly do.
It's yours.
Thank you.
Really, this curious legend that I'm a difficult person is pure fabrication. Ice skating, eh? Ah, me. I used to cut figure eights back in the day, arm in arm with Betsy Ross, waving the flag behind us.
Oh, it was wonderful meeting eyes today. Miss Cutler and Mr. Jefferson.
Maggie? Ice skating?
Yes, and she's good too. I got a marvelous picture of her.
Was she still there when you guys left?
I think so.
Yes, they were.
Say, Mr. Whiteside, do you mind if I get a picture of you? I would love to have one.
Fine. Do you want my profile?
I'm afraid you're done for, Mr. Whiteside. My brother's camera fiend.
Thank you, Mr. Whiteside. I got a great one.
Hello, Miss Cutler.
Hello there. Good evening, Sherry. Really, Sherry, you've got this place looking like an old parrot cage. Did you nap while I
dear cat run away with your tongue?
Stop looking at me with those great cow eyes, you hag! Where have you been all afternoon? Alley-catching around with Bert Jefferson.
Sherry, Bert read his play to me this afternoon, and it's superb. It isn't just a play written by a newspaperman. It is superb. Oh, I want you to read it tonight. It just cries out for Cornell. Will you send it to her, Sherry? And will you read it tonight?
No, I will not read it tonight or any other time. And while we're on the subject of Mr. Jefferson, you might as well ask him if he'd like to pay your salary, considering he takes up all your time.
Come on now, Sherry. It isn't as bad as that.
I haven't even been able to reach you, not knowing what haylofts you frequent.
Stop behaving like a spoiled child, Sherry.
I will not have you take this condescending tone with me. I am sick and tired of you sneaking out like a lovesick high school teenager behind my back every time.
Well, Sherry, I'm afraid you've hit the nail on the head.
Stop acting like Zazu Pitts and explain yourself.
Well, I'll make it quick. I'm in love.
Nonsense. This is merely delayed puberty.
Sherry, I'm afraid this is it. You are going to lose a very excellent secretary.
You are out of your mind.
Yes, I think I am a little, but I'm a girl who's waited a long time for this to happen, and now it finally has. Mr. Jefferson doesn't know it yet, but I'm going to try my darnedest to marry him.
Is that all?
Yes, except that, well, I guess this is what you might call my resignation, as soon as you got someone else, of course.
Matt, listen. We've been together for a very long time. You're indispensable to me. But I think I am unselfish enough not to let that stand in the way where your happiness is concerned. Because whether you know it or not, I have a deep affection for you.
I know that, Sherry.
That being the case, I will not stand by and allow you to make a fool of yourself!
I'm not, Sherry.
You are, my dear. You're acting like a Booth Tarkington heroine. It's insane. I cannot believe that a girl who for the past 10 years has had the great of the world served her on a platter, I cannot believe that it's anything but some kind of temporary insanity. And she gets swept off her feet in 7 days by some small-town second-rate newspaperman.
Look, Sherry, I can't explain what's happened. I can only tell you it is so. It's hard for me to believe too, Sherry. Here I am, a hard-bitten old cynic, behaving like True Story magazine, and liking it. Discovering the moon, and ice skating. You know, I keep laughing to myself all the time. What can I do about it, Sherry? It is what it is. I'm in love.
We're leaving tomorrow. Hip or no hip, we're leaving tomorrow. I don't care if I break the other one. Get me a train schedule and start packing. I'll get you out of this, Miss Stardust. I'll get the ants out of your moonlit pants.
It's not good. I'd be back on the next Streamline train.
It's completely unbelievable. Can you really see yourself, the wife of the editor of the Massalia Journal, having an evening at home with Mr. and Mrs. Stanley, Mr. and Mrs. Poop Face, and the members of the Book of the Month Club?
Look, Sherry, I've had 10 years of the great figures of our time, and don't think I'm not grateful to you for it. They've been wonderful years, Sherry, adventurous and exciting. I don't think anyone's had the fun that we've had. But a girl can't laugh all the time, Sherry. There comes a time when she wants Bert Jefferson. You don't know Bert, Sherry. He's gentle and he's unassuming, and I love him. That's all.
I see. Well, I remain completely unconvinced. You are drugging yourself into this Joan Crawford fantasy, and before you become completely anesthetized, I will do everything in my power to bring you to your senses.
Now listen to me, Whiteside. I know you. Lay off. I've seen what a devil you can be. I've seen you do it to other people, but don't you dare do it to me. Don't drug yourself into the idea that all you're thinking of is my happiness, you're thinking of yourself a little bit too. And all of those months of breaking in somebody new, I've seen you in a passion before when your life's been disrupted and you couldn't dine in Calcutta on July 12th with Boo Boo. Well, that's too bad, but there it is. I am going to marry Bert if he will have me. And don't you dare try any of your tricks, because I'm onto every single one of them. So lay off. That's my message to you, Big Lord Fauntleroy.
Hello, operator. I'd like to make a long-distance phone call. Hello, transatlantic operator. Yes, I'd like to speak to a Miss Lorraine Sheldon. Sheldon. She's on the Normandy. Set sail the day before yesterday from Southampton Bay. How long will it be?
Good evening, John.
This is Whiteside.
Well, good evening, Mr. Whiteside.
Go away, I'm busy.
Now, what would be the best possible news I could give you?
You have hydrophobia.
No, Mr. Whiteside. You're a well man now. You can get up and walk. You can leave here tomorrow.
What do you mean?
Well, sir, you see, I looked at those x-rays again this afternoon. And you know what? I had been looking at the wrong x-rays! I had been looking at old Miss Moffat's x-rays. You, sir, are perfectly and absolutely well!
Lower your voice, will you?
What's the matter? Aren't you pleased?
Delighted. Naturally. This just comes at a very curious moment. You see, Doctor, I've been reading your book. 40 years of, what was it?
40 years in Ohio, Doctor.
Exactly! I have been like it, and I find it very close to being one of the great literary contributions of our time.
Mr. Whiteside!
Yes, so fondly do I feel about it that I have a proposition for you. I'd like to stay here in Massalia and help work out a few of its rough edges.
Mr. Whiteside, I would be so terribly honored.
Yes, but you see, Doctor, there is but one issue. My lecturer and my radio sponsors were to find out that I am well, they would see to it that I fulfill my contracts, and I would be forced to leave Massalia. So therefore, we must not tell anyone, not anyone at all, that I am well.
I see.
Not even Miss Cutler.
Oh, no, I won't. Not a soul. Not even my wife.
That's right.
Well, Mr. Whiteside, when do we start work? Tonight, I've just got one patient that's dying. And then, I'll be perfectly free.
Tomorrow. This is a private phone call. Tomorrow.
Tomorrow it is. Well, good night. I'll be so proud to work with you, Mr. Whiteside.
This is Whiteside.
You've made me so terribly proud.
Yes, very proud, very proud. Yes, Whiteside. Lorraine, my blossom! How are you? Me, I'm good. Yes, still out here. Lorraine, when do you land in New York? Tuesday? That's fine. I have the most exciting news for you, pet. Yes, I found a play with an enchanting partner for you. Kit Cornell would give her eye teeth for it, but I think you can swing it. Yes, it's by a young newspaper man here in town. Very attractive and just your dish. Of course he wanted me to send a play to Cornell, but if you get on a train and rush right out, I think you can swing it. Yes, don't thank me. Don't thank me. And don't send me any messages. Just rush right out. All right. Goodbye. My God, you look radiant.
I'm sorry for what I said earlier, Sherry. I'm afraid I was a bit unjust.
It's fine. We all lose our tempers now and again.
I promised to have dinner with Bert and go to a movie, but we'll come back and we'll play cribbage with you instead.
That's fine.
All right. I'll see you soon, Sherry. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
We will now have a 10-minute intermission.
Thank you, John.
My, I've never seen so many presents before. I can hardly wait to see what's in them.
Yes, when we open them.
Well, you must first understand, John, that Mr. Whiteside thinks that Christmas is his personal property. He invented it and it belongs to him. So, first thing tomorrow morning, he'll open each and every present and you'll see the darndest fuss.
My, look who he's got presents from. Shirley Temple, William Lloyd Phelps, Ethel Waters, Billy Rose, Somerset Maugham. Oh, I can hardly wait for tomorrow.
Yes.
You know, this is all so wonderful, and Mr. Whiteside's tree is so beautiful, too. Mr. and Mrs. Stanley have to put theirs in the bedroom, you know. They can hardly undress that night.
Hello, Maggie. Merry Christmas, Sarah.
Merry Christmas, Mr. Jefferson!
Say, business is good, isn't it? My, what a little quiet blackmail on the weekly radio hour can get you. What did his sponsors give him?
Oh, well, they gave him a full year supply of their product. Cream of mush.
Well, he'll give it right back to them over the air.
Oh, wait until you hear tonight's broadcast, old fellow. It's so sticky, I haven't been able to get it off of my fingers since I copied it.
I'll bet. Look, I'll come clean. Under the influence of God knows what, I may have just bought you a Christmas present.
Why, Mr. Jefferson?
Only
sir.
I'd like you to come and look at. I'd like you to come look at it before I waste my hard-earned money. Will you come downtown with me?
Bert, this is very sweet of you. Oh, I'm quite touched. What is it?
A 2-year subscription to Pick, Click, Look, and Listen. Do you think I'm going to tell you? Come downtown with me and see.
All right. Sherry, I'm going out. I won't be long. I'm going out with Horace Greeley.
Noel, Noel. Mr. W, how about some cribbage after your broadcast tonight?
No, I will not play cribbage with you, Klondike Harry. Where are you up to now, Madam Butterfly?
I am being given a Christmas present. Anything you want done downtown?
Yes, bring baby a lollipop. What are you going to need for Christmas, Jefferson? I suppose I've enriched your feeble life far beyond your capacity to repay me.
That's what I figured, Mr. Whiteside, so I'm not giving you anything.
I see. Well, I was going to give you my old trust, but now I shan't. What time are those radios?
About 6:30. Oh, I'll be here. If you got a cut, Sherry, you're 4 minutes over. And by the way, Beverly Carlton sent a cable. He doesn't know what train to get out of Chicago, but he'll be here sometime this evening.
Is he good? Is he staying overnight?
No, No, he has to get right out again. Oh, he's sailing Friday on Queen Mary.
Mr. Whiteside, you think I could take a look out the window and get a peek at him? Beverly Carlton used to be one of my heroes.
Used to be, you big, stained hack! Beverly Carlton is the greatest talent in the English theater today! Maggie, take this illiterate numbskull out of my sight and don't bring him back!
Mr. Whiteside, I'll be back when Beverly Carlton gets here.
Bert, what have you got to me? Oh, I'm like a 10-year-old kid.
You have the joy of a 10-year-old kid, Maggie.
Is it a hat? Maybe perhaps jewelry?
Hello? I'd like to speak to the mansion house. No, I don't know the number. Hello, is this the mansion house? Yes, I was wondering if Miss Lorraine Sheridan has arrived yet from New York. She hasn't. Eh?
What do you want coming in a room like that? Don't you ever knock!
But I wasn't coming in. I was coming out.
Miss Brain, you are obviously in this room, are you not?
Well, yes, but...
Therefore you came in! Hereafter, please knock.
There's some expressmen here with a crate for you, Mr. Whiteside. I told them to come through the back.
Thank you. Miss Green, stop standing there. You look like a frozen custard. Go.
Right this way. Try not to scratch it. Why? It's some kind of animal.
I'll say it's animals. We had to feed them at 7 o'clock this morning.
Who's it from, John?
Admiral Richard E. Byrd. Say.
Bring it over.
Why, it's penguins! 2, 3, 4 penguins! Hello, my pretties!
Direct feeding on the left and those 2 slats are loose.
We fed only whale blubber, eels, and cracked lobster.
They got Coca-Cola this morning and liked it.
You know, John, they make the most entrancing penguins. I want these put right in the library. Take them right.
Yes, sir.
I'd better tell Sarah to order a couple dozen lobsters.
Yes, sir.
I wonder if there's any whale blubber in this town.
Good evening.
Oh, yes, there is.
The door was open so wide. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Doctor. Merry Christmas. I don't suppose that you know if eels are in season, Doctor.
How's that?
Never mind. I was a fool to ask you.
I opened those 2 slats a little, Mr. Whiteside. They seem so crowded in there.
Thank you, John.
Mr. Whiteside.
Goodbye, Doctor. I'm so sorry you happened to drop in right now. I have to do my yoga exercises.
Well, Mr. Whiteside, it's been a week now. My book, you know. When are we going to start working my book? I thought perhaps if I... Good evening, Miss Preen.
Good evening, Dr. Bradley. Oh! Oh! Dr. Bradley! When I opened these doors just now, I thought I saw a penguin with a thermometer in its mouth.
What's that? Have those penguins gotten out of their crate?
Penguins? You said penguins?
Yes. Doctor, will you go in there and capture the penguins and put them back into the crate? There's 4.
Capture the penguins, yes.
And Miss Green, will you go in there and entertain them at least until I get in there?
Yes, sir.
Oh my. The Christmas tree in the bedroom has just fallen on Mr. Stanley. He has a big bump on his forehead.
Why isn't that too bad? Go on, Doctor! Go on, Miss Green!
Hello, Mr. Whiteside.
Hello, Dickie, my boy.
Will you have some time later, Mr. Whiteside?
I don't know, Doctor. I'm very busy right now. Very busy.
I suppose I'll wait a little while.
I'll wait a little while.
Dr. Bradley is the world's greatest living argument for mercy. Well, what do you want today, Richard? A candid picture of my left nostril?
I'm all stocked up on those. But have you got a minute to take a look at some new ones I've taken?
Why, certainly. My Richard, these are good. There's real artistry. Why, they're as good as anything by Margaret Burke White. I like all the things you've shown me. This is the essence of photographic journalism.
Say, I didn't know they were as good as that. I just like to take pictures, that's all.
Richard, I've been meaning to talk to you about this. You aren't just a kid fooling around with a camera anymore. No, these are good. This is what you ought to do. You have to do some of the things you've been telling me about. Just get on a boat and get off wherever it takes you. Galveston, Singapore, Mexico. Just make your way through and take pictures. Millions of them. Horrible pictures, wonderful pictures. Everything.
Say, wouldn't I like to though? It's what I've been dreaming of for years. If I could do that, I'd be the happiest guy in the world.
Well, why don't you? If I was your age, I'd do it like a shot.
You know why. Dad.
Richard, is this really what you want to do more than anything else in the world?
Yes, I certainly do.
Then do it.
Hello, Richie. Good afternoon, Mr. Whiteside.
Hello. Well, Richard, it's up to you.
Yes, I guess it is. Thank you, Mr. Whiteside. You have been swell, and I will never forget this.
Right away.
Oh, June, are you coming upstairs?
A few minutes, Richard.
Well, knock on my door, why don't you? I want to talk to you.
I will. Mr. Whiteside.
June, my love, you were too young to hear about the L love letters, weren't you? Completely fascinating. I have about 5 favorite murder cases, and the L love case is one of them. Would you like to hear about it?
Well, Mr. Whiteside, I wanted to talk to you just for a few minutes. It's important.
Why, certainly. I suppose this is about that young Lothario down at the factory?
Yes. I just can't seem to make Father understand. It's like I'm talking to a blank wall. He won't meet him. He won't even talk about it. What are we going to do, Mr. Whiteside? Sandy and I love each other. I don't know where to turn.
My dear, I'd like to meet this young man. I'd like to see him for myself.
Oh, would you really? He's outside now in the kitchen.
Good, bring him in.
Oh, you'll be nice to him, won't you? He's a very sensitive boy.
Damn it, Joan! How many times do I have to tell you I'm always kind and courteous? Bring this idiot in!
Mr. Whiteside, this is Sandy.
How do you do, sir?
How do you do? I've been hearing a lot about you this past week. If I've been correctly informed, seems that you 2 babes are completely lost in the woods.
There's another name for it. It's called love.
Well, you've certainly come to the right place. Dr. Sheridan Whiteside. Broken hearts, mended breaks, relined. Hamburgers. Go ahead.
Well, if you know anything at all, Mr. Whiteside, you'll know the jam we're in. You see, I work for the labor union, Mr. Whiteside. I'm an organizer. I've been organizing the men in Mr. Stanley's factory, and Mr. Stanley's pretty sore about it.
All
Did June tell you that?
right. Yes, she did.
Well, that being the case, I don't think I have a right to try and influence June. If she marries me, it means a definite break with her family, and I just don't want to bring that about. But the trouble is, Mr. Stanley's so stubborn about it, so arbitrary. You know, this is not something I've done just to spite him. We fell in love with each other. But Mr. Stanley believes it's all one big plot. John L. Lewis and me are just to marry his daughter.
He's tried to fire Sandy out twice out at the factory, but he couldn't thank God on account of the Wagner Act.
Yes, he thinks I wrote that too.
If only he'd let me talk to him. Let Sandy talk to him.
We talked about that, June. Anyways, I've gotten word this morning I'm needed in Chicago, and I may have to go on to Frisco from there. So you see the jam we're in.
He's leaving tonight, Mr. Whiteside. He'll be gone a year. So we simply got to decide. Now.
Well, to me this is absurdly simple. You see, to my John style. Oh, Excuse me. Hello, this is Whiteside speaking. It's a transcontinental call. Yes, put him on. It's Walt Disney from Hollywood. Hello, Walt. How's my little dash of genius? Yes, Merry Christmas to you too. Yes, I hear it, Walt. 10 seconds more. Walt Disney calls me every Christmas. Yes, sounds just like static. Joe. Hello, yes. How about any news from Hollywood? Who's in Lana Turner's sweater these days? Really? Well, goodbye, and Merry Christmas. Oh, and Walt, don't worry about Fantasia. It wasn't your fault. Beethoven hasn't written a hit in years. Do you know what that was you just heard? That was the voice of Donald Duck.
Not really.
Mr. Disney calls me every Christmas just so I can hear it. 2 years ago, I was on the bottom of the ocean in a diving suit with Willie and Miege, but he got to me. Now, where was I? Oh, yes. June, I like you. I have an unerring instinct about you. I'm never wrong. That's why I wanted to meet him. Seems to me that you two will be very happy together. Whatever his beliefs are, he's entitled, and that shouldn't stand in the way. You see, stripped of its externals, what does it come down to? Making your parents happy. Is that right?
Very unhappy.
Yes, but that isn't the point. You see, it's good if your parents aren't happy. Builds their character. I left home when I was 4, and I never went back. They hear my voice on the radio, and that's enough for them.
Your advice is to go ahead, Mr. Whiteside?
It is. June, marry him tonight.
Oh, you mean it, Mr. Whiteside?
No, June, I mean marry Hamilton Fish. If I didn't say it, I wouldn't mean it. Why would you have me say it over again? It is of my own opinion that you are not worthy of this beautiful young man.
Come along, Daisy. Stop dawdling.
That's Dad.
Daisy, I'm sure you can't hold another gift. I'm in so much pain. Forgive us for trespassing, Mr. Whiteside.
Not at all. It's Christmas, you know. Merry Christmas.
Yes, Merry Christmas. Would you like to come along with us, June? I'm taking some presents over to the Dexters.
Oh, no, thank you, Mother. I have some letters to write.
Oh, all right.
Come along, Daisy.
Why, Mr. Stanley, whatever happened to your forehead? Did you have an accident?
No, Mr. Whiteside, I'm taking boxing lessons. Go ahead, Daisy. Please, Daisy. You do not have all day. It is Christmas.
Dear Mr. Whiteside, I've been trying all day to see you, to give you this.
Why, Miss Stanley, a Christmas gift? For me?
It's only a trifle, but I wanted you to have it. It's a picture of me as I used to be. It was taken on another Christmas Eve, many years ago. Don't open it, Mother. Stroke midnight, will you? Merry Christmas, dear Mr. Whiteside. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Miss Stanley. Merry.
Mr. Whiteside, would you like to know Miss Sheldon's here?
Lorraine! My blossom!
Sherry, my sweet! Look at that poor, sweet, tortured face. Let me kiss it. Oh, how drawn you are. Sherry, my sweet, I want to cry.
All right. You made a very nice entrance. Now relax. anything else ever has. I feel better than I have in years. My only worry is that I'm missing news from the outside world. So take off that skunk and tell me how you are.
Oh, darling, I'm so relieved. You look perfectly wonderful. I never saw you look better. My dear, do I look a wreck? I just dashed through New York, didn't do a thing about Christmas, saw Hattie Carnegie and had my hair done, and hopped right on the train. And then already coming back was hectic fun, you know, but simply exhausting. And London before that was magnificent. Well, my darling, I simply never got to bed at all. I've so much to tell you, I don't know where to start.
Start with the dirt first? That's what I want to hear.
Let me see. Sybil Cartwright was thrown out of Cyrus. It was the night before I left. She was wearing one of those cellophane dresses, and you could simply see everything. Sir Harry Montross, the painter, you know, is suing his mother for disorderly conduct. Why, it simply shocked us all. And Anthony Eden is going to be on your New Year's Eve broadcast. Oh, and Beatrice Lilly has a message for you. She says to take off 25 pounds and send them to her parcel post. She needs them.
Tell her I'll pack them on. Now what about you? I don't believe for a minute that you never got to bed, if you'll mind the expression.
Oh, Sherry, you're dreadful.
What about that bit of English mutton? Lord Bottom, haven't you cooked him yet?
Cedric is a very dear friend of mine.
Now look, this is Sherry you're talking to. Don't try to pull the bedcloths over my eyes. Don't tell me you wouldn't want to be Lady Bottom with 100,000 pounds a year, 12 castles. By the way, has he gotten his teeth fixed yet? Every time I order Roquefort cheese, I think of those teeth.
Oh. Sherry, really? Cedric may not be brilliant, but he's rather sweet. Poor lamb, and he's very fond of me. Well, if I could marry him, I don't know why I shouldn't. Shall I tell you something? Something he said to me right before I sailed makes me think he might be coming around to it. It wasn't definite, mind you. But don't be surprised if I am Lady Bottomley before long.
Lady Bottomley! Won't Kansas City be surprised? Well, I shall play the role of a flower and give the groom a present of an iron toothpick. Now, let's speak more of your skullduggery.
Well, before I knew it, I was being pushed at
No! 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 No!
Who is that man?
He's fixing the plumbing. I want news.
Well, what about this play? After all, I've come all the way from New York on Christmas Eve. I've been so excited ever since your phone call. Where is it? I want to read it.
Well, it's by this young newspaper man here in town, Bert Jefferson. Of course he wants Kit Cornell, and God knows I feel disloyal to Kit.
Oh, Sherry.
But then there's you. You see, I've done this much. The rest is up to you. Now just how you go about hooking him, well, I'm sure you know more about that than I do.
Why, Sherry, you're wonderful. Does he know I'm coming? Mr. Jefferson, I mean.
No. You're just visiting. Get him to take you to dinner. Work your way around to play. Good God, I don't have to be telling you these things. How did you get all those other parts?
Sherry! Well, I'll go back to the hotel and get into something a little more attractive. I just dumped my bags and rushed right over. Darling, you're wonderful.
Yes, get into your working attire. Then come back and have Christmas Eve with Sharon, and I'll have Mr. Jefferson on tap. Oh, by the way, I have a little surprise for you today. Guess who's coming by and visiting me later? None other than your old friend and co-star, Beverly Carter.
Really? Beverly. I thought he was being glamorous on a tramp steamer.
Now, don't be bickering just because Beverly got better notices than you did.
Oh, don't be silly, Sherry. Sherry. You both know I never read the notices. I just simply wouldn't care to act them again, that's all.
Temper, temper, temper. And he's not saying that. But, is that a new bit of blue, dear? Those diamond earrings.
Haven't you seen these before? Cedric got them for me for his mother's birthday. She was simply furious. Well, I've got a taxi waiting if I'm going to leave in time.
Sherry, what do you think? I've just been given the most beautiful.
My Santa's been at work, Pet. Look who stopped by to pay me a Christmas visit.
Well, hello, dear. I knew you must be around here somewhere. How are you?
Hello, Lorraine.
Who's that? Bert Jefferson? Yes, come in here, Bert. Lorraine, this is Mr. Bert Jefferson, a young newspaper man here in town.
Miss Sheldon, how do you do?
How do you do? Mr. Jefferson, was it?
That's right, my pet.
Why, you don't look like a newspaper man. You don't look like a newspaper man at all.
Really, I thought it was written all over me in neon lights.
Oh, no, I should have said you were, oh, I don't know, an explorer, aviator or something. They have the same kind of dash about them as you do. Tell me, have you lived here all your life?
Practically.
Now, if you want to hear more about Mr. Jefferson's life, I kindly suggest you do so on your own time. Me and Maggie have lots of work to do. Now, go on. Go on, Jefferson.
He's simply the world's rudest man, isn't he? Suppose I drop you. I'm going to the mansion house, I think it's called.
Oh, thank you, but I've got my own car. Suppose I drop you instead?
Really? Why, that'd be wonderful. I'll just send the taxi off. I'll see you later, Maggie. Goodbye, Sherry.
Bye, Maggie. I'm invited back for dinner, am I not?
Yes, I suppose you are. I always feed the needy on Christmas. Now stop oozing out and get out!
Come on, Mr. Jefferson. I want to hear more about this charming little town, and I want to know a great deal about you, too.
Now, where's that car? How much did you say we needed to cut? 4 minutes.
That's right, 4 minutes. She's looking quite well, isn't she?
Who?
The Countess D. Pushover. Quite a surprise, wasn't it? Her dropping in.
Yes, very surprised. Now get to work, Maggie, get to work.
She must have gone for New York like a dose of salt. How long is she going to stay?
Oh, I don't know, a few days. In this glorious season, when in the hearts of men, no, I can't cut that part.
Isn't it curious? There was Lorraine, snug as a bug in somebody's bed on the Normandy.
Ere the Yuletide season passed.
Now, Henry, we will talk of it.
Maggie, Lorraine has decided to come out here and spend Christmas. I have a hunch that that's better. Go get it, go, run!
Hi.
Beverly!
A large moist kiss for my man.
Oh, please.
Come in here, you Piccadilly pin pusher, and gaze upon a soul in agony.
Don't tell me how you are, Sherry. I want to know the tiresome details. I have very little time, and I'm afraid the conversation will be entirely about me. And I shall love it.
Oh.
Shall I tell you how I glittered through the South Seas like a silver scimitar? Ha! Or would you rather hear how I frolicked through Zambia, wooing the Major General's daughter, and finishing a 3-act play at the same time? Magpie, you're the moonflower of my middle age. I love you very much. Say something tender to me.
Beverly, I'm blushing.
That's my girl. Now then, Sherry, without going into mountainous waves of self-pity, how are you?
I'm fine, you presumptuous cockney. How was the trip? Wonderful.
Fabulous. I did a fantastic amount of work. Oh, by the way, did I glance at little boudoir la Sheldon motor car as I came up the driveway?
Oh, you did indeed. She's paying us a Christmas visit.
Dear girl, they do say she sets fire to her mother.
but I don't believe it. Sherry, my evil one, I've written the finest comedy since Molière, and the best review since my last one. Also, in operetta, it frightens me, it's so good. I shall play it for 8 weeks in London and 4 in New York. That's all, no matinees, then I'm off to the Grecian Islands. Magpie, why don't you come along? Why don't you ditch this cannonball of fluff and come with me?
Be careful, Beverly. You're catching me at a good moment.
How did you say?
3 unbelievable days! I saw everyone from Adrian to Zanuck. They came to me, poor dears, as of a shrine. I was ridiculously charming and ruthlessly firm and refusing $7 million for 2 minutes' work.
What about Banjo? Did you see my wonderful Banjo?
I did indeed. He gave a dinner for me. I was then met by 2 bewigged butlers. They then quietly proceeded to take off my trousers. I was then ushered, in my linen silk drawers, to be met by Claudette Colbert, Norma Charrer, and Aldous Huxley, amongst others. Dear, sweet, incomparable Banjo.
I do remember that summer well in the Antilles, when me and Banjo decided to play the worst prank on Lorraine.
I remember it well. Lorraine left by the next boat.
I wish Banjo were here now.
Magpie, is something wrong? Is Lorraine being her own sweet, sickening self again?
Oh, you wouldn't take her to the Grecian Islands with you, would you, Beverly?
Now, then, Lorraine is a charming person who gallantly gave up her own Christmas to spend it with me.
Oh, I knew I had a bit of dirt for all those.
No!
Have you kidnapped another one?
Yes, that was Charlie Ross. Now go ahead. Is this something juicy?
Juicy as a pomegranate. It is the latest report from London on the winter maneuvers of Miss Lorraine Sheldon against the left flank. In fact, all flanks of Lord Cedric Bottomley listen. Miss Lorraine has left all of us in a cloud of Chanel No. 5. Since September, in her pursuit of his lordship, she has stopped only to check her girdles and change her oil. She has chased him, panting, from castle to castle, until, after several weekends, Bottomley took refuge at the Gentleman's Lavatory at the House of Lords. Practically no one is betting on the Derby this year. We're all making book on Lorraine. She has set sail on the Normandy and shall return on that Atlantic clipper if Bottomley as much as belches in her direction. Have you ever met Lord Bottomley, Magpie dear?
No, I haven't.
Not very good shooting in the house today. Just a 6 partridges and the 4 grouse and the Duke of Sutherland. Ha ha.
My God, that's Bottomley to its very bottom!
Ripping debate in the house today. Old Basil spoke for 3 hours and it had dropped dead at the end of it. Ripping ha.
Up, Beverly. No one sounds like that.
Why, it's so good it's uncanny. Beverly, why must you rush right out of here? I never see enough of you.
Sherry dear, I can't tell you how great my love for you is that I switched trains to Chicago just to see you for 10 minutes to wish you a Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, my lad, my little magpie.
Oh, Beverly.
And now I have just time to show you how great the whole thing really is. It is the 2nd number from my latest review.
Damn, get rid of the Maggie.
Hello? Oh, hello, Bert. Oh, wait just a minute. Would you talk to a newspaper man for just 2 minutes? I kind of promised him.
Won't have time, Magpie, unless he's under this piano.
Wait. Would you speak with him for just a minute before the train goes at the station?
I don't see why not.
Perfect. Bert, go to the station and wait for Beverly. I'll be there soon. All right. Bye.
The saws are impatient, Beverly. Let's hear the second-rate masterpiece.
Autumn in New York. Why does it seem so inviting? Autumn in New York. It spells the thrills of first nighting, glittering crowds and shimmering clouds in canyons of steel. It's making me feel I'm home. It's autumn in New York. It spells the promise of new love. Autumn in New York is often mingled with pain. Dreamers with empty hands often sigh for exotic lands. Autumn in New York, it's good to live it again. I haven't written the rest yet, but it will be spectacular.
It's the best thing you've ever written.
You heard me say that.
Westcott, yes, come right in, come right in.
Oh, the airwaves, eh? Thank God I shouldn't have to hear you. I shall be on a train.
Mr. Westcott, will you please go into that room? John, will you show them where to plug in?
Right this way, gentlemen.
Thank you. Come on, Whiteside, say goodbye.
No.
Au revoir, Sherry. Merry Christmas.
Beverly, I want to speak to Beverly, damn it!
Kiss Beverly on July 12th.
Be right down here with a baby that needs his diaper changed!
Come get your kiss.
Oh, Beverly, I must have a minute with you. I need it, please.
My dear, is something wrong?
Go away! My leg! Oh, God!
I'm waiting in the kitchen until Mr.
Excuse me.
Who is that man?
Never mind that. Beverly, I'm in great trouble. Please sit.
My dear, is something wrong?
Well, I've fallen in love. Yes, for the first time in my life, I am in love. Oh, I can't tell you about it. There isn't time, but Sherry's trying to break it up. In his own fiendish way, he's doing everything he can to break it up.
Why, the old flounder, what's he trying to do?
Lorraine. He's brought Lorraine here to smash it up.
Here, in this town?
Well, yes, he's a newspaper man, and he's written a play, and I know Sherry must be using that as bait. You know Lorraine. She'll eat him up alive. You've got to help me, Beverly.
Of course I will. What do you want me to do?
Well, Lorraine, you have to get her out of here. The further away, the better.
But how can I? I'll be leaving.
Miss Cumberland, have you carved the broadcast?
Yes, there's one on that table.
Thank you. One of those penguins ate the original.
Here's what I want you to do.
Oh. Ah. Don't make me laugh. Oh. I absolutely love it. It's simply enchanting. And messes with Sherry and Lorraine at the same time. I love it. I shall do it a brown.
The first baby will be named Beverly. You're wonderful.
Of course I am. Come to Chiswick and I shall put you up for your honeymoon. Mercy, let me out of here.
Bye, Beverly.
Shall I straighten up the room for the broadcast, Miss Cumberland?
No, John, there's no need. It isn't television. Thank God. You only hear the liquid voice. Oh.
It's really wonderful, isn't it? Mr. Whiteside, the things he finds the time to do.
Yes, John. He most certainly sticks his nose into everything.
Wait, where is he? Is he in the library?
Yes, he's busy.
Oh, well, maybe we ought to... Oh, come on.
Thank you, John. Hello, dear. Where's Sherry?
Inside working. He's broadcasting very soon.
Oh, yes. Christmas Eve. What a wonderful man Sheridan Whiteside is. You know, it must be such an utter joy to be secretary to somebody like Sherry.
Well, yes, of course. You meet such interesting people. That's quite a gown, Lorraine. Going anywhere?
Oh, this? Why, I thrown anything at all. Aren't you dressing for dinner?
No. Just what meets the eye.
Who does your hair, Maggie?
Well, it's actually pretty unbelievable. A French woman named Maggie Cutler comes in every morning.
You know, every time I see you, I always think how lovely your hair could be. I've always wanted to get my hands on it.
And I've always wanted to get mine on yours, Lorraine.
What, dear?
Nothing.
What time does Beverly get here? I'm not overly anxious to see him.
He's been and gone, Lorraine.
Really? Oh, why, that's wonderful. Oh, well, you two are friends, aren't you? You and Beverly?
Yes, we are. I think he's a wonderful person.
Well, I'm sure he is, but when I finished acting with him, I was a perfect wreck. All throughout our tender love scene that the critics, well, thought was magnificent. He kept dropping peanut shells down my dress. I wouldn't act with him again if I were starving.
Tell me, Lorraine. Have you found a new play yet?
No, I haven't. There was a pile of manuscripts waiting in New York for me, but I just rushed here right to share it.
Well, of course, yes. It was wonderful how you dropped everything I'm sure you were working on and rushed to Sherry's Millside.
Well, what else does one have in this world but friends?
Well, that's what I always say. Is everything all right?
Yes!
All right.
How long is Sherry going to be in there?
Not long. Did you know that Mr. Jefferson has written quite a good play? The man who drove you to the hotel the other night?
Really? No, I didn't. Isn't that Esther Singh?
Yes. Isn't it?
They've put this color on my nail I simply loathe. I don't suppose Elizabeth Arden has a branch in this town.
Not if she has any sense.
Well, that's all right. I'll just bear it. But it does depress me. Maggie, have you read this? I hear everyone on the boat was reading it and they simply can never put it down.
Oh, that's peculiar, because I put it down right there. Hello? Yes? Miss Lorraine Sheldon? Yes, she's here. Oh, Lorraine, there's a transatlantic call coming through for you.
Transatlantic for me here? Why, what in the world?
Something about London?
London? I mean, London. Yes? Hello? Why, Cedric! Cedric, you darling! How did you know I was here? What a surprise. It's so lovely to hear from you. Darling, don't talk so fast and you won't stutter so. Yes, that's better. I can hear you wonderfully. wonderfully. It's as though you're right around the corner, yes. My darling! Excuse me one moment, Cedric. Maggie, it's Lord Bottomley, a very personal phone call. Would you mind?
No, not at all.
Yes. Yes. Darling, don't talk so fast and he won't stutter so. What? What? Lady Bottomley. Duchess Bottomley. Queen Bottomley. Cedric, you darling! Oh! Yes! How you've made me the happiest girl in the world! Oh, I've prayed for this every night on the boat! Yes! Oh, yes, 1,000,000 times! Yes, and millions more. Oh. Would you buy me a tiara with sapphires for the wedding? Oh, what? Yes, I love you too. Yes. Oh, I simply can't wait to see you. Oh, I must get the plane out of here right away. Yes. Goodbye, darling. Goodbye. Yes, kisses, goodbye. Sherry! Do you know what has happened? Lord Bottomley has called from London and he's asked me to marry him.
What?
At last. Why? I've got to get on the next boat out of here right away.
May I come in?
Oh, why, Maggie? Can I get a plane out of here right away? I simply got to get the next boat to England. Do you know what it is? Do you know? Is there a newspaper here?
Well, the Queen Mary sells Friday. What happened?
Oh, the most wonderful thing in the world has happened. Lord Bottomley has called from London and he's asked me to marry him.
Really? Well, what do you know?
Oh, isn't it wonderful? I'm so excited I can hardly think. Darling, would you want me to get out of here right away?
I would be delighted to arrange.
Thank you, Maggie. Wonderful.
Yes, of course, and I have a times table here. And don't worry, because if there's no plane, I'll drive you to Cleveland myself so you can leave and get out of here faster. Of course I am.
What's the matter with you? You haven't even said a word to me.
Am I to gather from your girlish squeals that you are throwing your entire career into the ash can?
Oh, well, of course I can't play this season, but there'll always be other seasons, Sherry.
I see. And that means everything goes into the ash can, was it?
Why, you really couldn't expect...
Don't try to explain it, dear. I only understand too well. I also understand why Catherine Cornell remains the first actress of our theater.
Oh, well, it looks like we are in luck, Lorraine. Well, there's a plane out of here at 10:03. Takes about an hour to get there. Oh, why, it all works out wonderfully, doesn't it, Sherry?
Miege!
Maggie, what's the number of the hotel I'm at?
Massalia 32.
I've got to get my maid started packing.
Oh, of course, get out of here fast, please.
Massalia 32, please. Let's see. I sail Friday, that's a 5-day boat, which means I'm Wednesday. Hello? Hi, would you please connect me to my maid, please? Thank you.
Look, Sherry, it's starting to snow. Oh, I've never felt more like Christmas in my life, Sherry. Don't you, Sherry?
Shut your nasty little face!
Hello? Cosette. Yes, Cosette. I've had some exciting news. I need you to start packing immediately. We're leaving Friday and sailing on the Queen Mary. Yes. Would you mind grabbing a pencil? I usually do these days for me. Thank you. Yes, you've got the pencil. You will find all the addresses in my little address book. Yes. The first one goes to Lord and Lady Cunard. My darlings, Cedric has asked me to marry him, and we are to be married immediately on arrival. Wanted you to be the first to know, Lorraine. And then the next one. What? Oh, thank you, Cosette. Thank you. Yes, and the next one goes to Lady Astor, Lord Beaverbrook, and my mother in Kansas City. Yes. And would you send one also to Hattie Carnegie? Meet me, Sherry Netherlands, noon tomorrow with sketches of bridal gowns and trousseau. And send one to Monsieur Pierre Cottier's London, and ask for him to hold my triple string of pearls I picked out in October. Yes, you've got that? Yes. Why, Cosette, you're wonderful. You're going to have to rush, darling. We're going to be leaving very quickly here. Thank you. Thank you, Cosette. Cosette is just the most wonderful maid. I don't know what I would do without her. Life is so interesting. Who would have known an hour ago I'd be on my way to London?
An hour ago? I simply wouldn't have thought so an hour ago.
Stop this female drooling! I have a violent headache.
Oh, Sherry, can I get you something?
Look, Sherry, I'm sorry if I've offended you, but my life is my own, and I'm not going
Hello,
to change it.
everybody. Say, do you know it's snowing out? It's going to be a real old-fashioned Christmas, I hear.
Why don't you tell them when they're scoped to the New York Times?
I'll explain, Bert. Lorraine has to get out of here immediately. Could we drive her over to Cleveland? You and I?
Why, certainly. Sorry you have to go, Miss Lorraine. No bad news, I hope.
On the contrary, very good news. Wonderful news.
Yes, wonderful news. You know, Sherry, you're not being a very good host. I think this merits a little bit of champagne.
I can do you better, Mr. Whiteside. Let me mix you a Jefferson special.
Yes, mix anything. Just stop this scribbling.
Anybody admire my Christmas present yet, Maggie?
Oh, dear, I forgot. From Mr. Jefferson to me.
Why, it's charming! Oh, and it's even inscribed. To Maggie, long may she wait. Bert. Why, it's gorgeous! Isn't that darling, Sherry?
Love it, Sherry?
It's pretty! It's so
Thank you. I told you it was beautiful, Bert. See?
Well, shows what you get if you save your coupons.
Maggie, is there something going on between you two? Are you hiding something from us?
Can you stop this scribbling? My head is bursting.
Jefferson special will cure anything, Mr. Whiteside. Oh, by the way, I got a 2-minute interview with Beverly Carlton at the station. You were right. He's quite something.
Bert, could you please mix that drink for me, please?
Okay. You know, I was lucky to get even 2 minutes. He was in a telephone booth at the time.
Please mix those drinks. Please, thank you, Bert.
On the fire. You know, by the faces he was making, it looked like a scene from one of his plays.
Bert!
Now,
Please.
go on, Mr. Jefferson. You said that Mr. Carlton was in a telephone booth?
Certainly was. You know, he was in there for about 5 minutes making the damnedest faces, like...
Jefferson, I have an idea that I would love another Jefferson special. Make me a double, will you? My headache has gone with the wind. There's more glasses and booze in the kitchen.
Okay.
Sherlock Holmes is at work. Hello, operator. Yes, I would like to know if there have been any calls from London in the past 30 minutes. Thank you, operator. What? There haven't been any calls from London in the past 3 days? Thank you, operator. Blossom! Blossom! Would you so kindly repeat that? Did you hear it? Thank you, operator. And have a very Merry Christmas.
Sherry, what was that about?
Why, Lorraine, sounds as though that you just played the greatest love scene of your life with none other than your old friend, Beverly Garrett.
Why, that's not true. I was talking to Cedric. What do you mean?
Oh, my dear, I believe that was Mr. Carlton you just poured your girlish heart out to. Who would have known that not even 5 minutes ago you wouldn't be going to London?
Why, Sherry, I want this explained.
Explain, dear. You heard the operator. Seems as though that Mr. Carlton was just engaging in one of his famous bits of mimicry is all. You've heard of you, Lord Bottomley, haven't you?
Yes. Yes, but why would he do such a thing? Why would anyone would not want to do that? What? Oh, God, those cables! Hello, operator. I need the number to my hotel. I don't care whatever it's called. What do you mean? Who is it? Without me thinking it's Lorraine Shelton! Oh, God! What? S-H-E-T-O-N! Oh, God, I'm getting back to this. It's the last thing I do. Hello? Hello, Mansion House. Hi, would you please connect me with my maid? Cassette, please. Thank you. Oh, God. Oh, God, why would he ever do such a thing? It's just dreadful. It's Cassette. Hello, Cassette. Hi, have you sent those cables?
Calm down.
Calm down! I will be the laughing stock of the England. What do you mean, calm down? Oh, God. I knew Beverly Colton was low, but I didn't know he was this low. I mean, God! Why would anyone want to do that to me? I mean, look at me. I'm Lorraine Sheldon. I'm so beautiful. Oh, why would he do that? Oh, you were with him today. Do you know Sherry? Do you, Maggie? Why would anyone, for the matter, want to? Why? That's what I want to know. Why? It wasn't even funny. God! What am I going to do? I'm going to be a laughing stock. Why would he go to the telephone booth and put me out on a fool's errand? Why? That's what I think I begin to understand now. Why, yes. And to think wild horses couldn't get me out of here now, Maggie. And if I were you, I'd hold on to that bracelet, this charming bracelet Mr. Jefferson gave you. It'll be something to remember him by.
All right, Mr. Whiteside, so it's time. Look at boys, start testing. Here's your job, Mr. Whiteside.
How much time do we have?
Couple of minutes. Mr. Whiteside, I have a very, very wonderful question for you. Why penguins? Of all the birds you could have and keep in your house, penguins is what you choose? Dustin. Really? From oops.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2,
Richard
3,
E.
4.
Bird. Are you playing a prank on me?
New York. A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D.
Look
Mary had a little lamb.
and tell me, are you playing a joke on
New
me?
York. Mary had a little lamb waiting.
Now,
They fit me everywhere. Everywhere. Please, Daisy.
here comes the Jefferson Special!
Have we time?
Oh, I'm sure we do, Mr. Jefferson. It seems that I'm not leaving after all. And I've heard you've written a simply marvelous play. I want you to read it to me tonight, will you?
I will. I'd love to.
After dinner, we'll go back to the mansion house and you'll read me the play.
Why, certainly. I should say so. Maggie, did you hear that? Say, I bet you did this. You arranged the whole thing. It's the finest Christmas present you could have given me. Maggie!
Mr. Whiteside!
Quiet!
My son has run off on a freighter, and my daughter is marrying an anarchist!
Quiet, please! We're going to the air!
You told them to do it!
My fortune! My fortune! This is the most awful!
Quiet, please!
Oh, Mr. Whiteside, I see you're still busy.
Don't you tell me to be quiet!
Quiet, please! Please, just be quiet for God's sake! Please! Move out of the way!
30 seconds later.
All right, boys. Right down this way, down here to this mic, please.
Okay, New York. Bright smiles, happy faces, you not to be here. Climb. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Silent night.
Good evening, everyone. Cream of Mush brings you Sheridan Whiteside.
This is Whiteside speaking. On this eve of eves, when my own heart is overflowing with joy and kindness, I found it most fitting to repeat that story of the lustrous night nigh unto 2,000 years ago. Where do you disappear to at all hours of the day, my lady Nausea?
Mr. Whiteside, I can only be in one place at a time.
That's very fortunate for our community.
Good morning, Mr. Whiteside. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, John. Merry Christmas.
Are you ready for breakfast, Mr. Whiteside?
No, I don't think I want any breakfast. Tell me, has Miss Cutler come down?
No, sir. Not yet.
Is she in a room, do you know?
Yes, sir. Shall I call him?
No, but thank you.
Yes, sir.
I'm taking the 1 o'clock train, Sharon. I'm leaving.
You're doing nothing of the kind!
Here are your keys, your driving license. The key to the safety deposit vault is in the apartment in New York. I'll go here now and clear things up.
Just a moment, Mrs. Simmons! Where were you until 3 o'clock this morning? I stayed up half the night worrying in the station wagon. When you got in, you heard me calling. Why didn't you answer?
Look, Sharon, it's over and you've won. I don't want to talk about it.
Come.
No.
What are you trying to do? Make me feel like a naughty boy. Really? Sometimes you can be very annoying.
You know, you're quite wonderful, Sharon. In a way, you're annoying. I wish there were a laugh left in me. Shall I tell you something, Sharon? I think you are a selfish, petty egomaniac who would watch his own mother burned
at the stake if it were the only way to light his cigarette. I think you'd sacrifice your best friend without a moment's hesitation if you disrupted the sacred routine of your self-centered, paltry little life. I think you are incapable of any human emotion that goes higher up in your stomach, and I was the fool of the world for ever thinking I could trust you.
Well, I guess I'll never do anyone a good turn again. I won't ask you to apologize, dear Maggie, because in 6 months from now, you'll be thanking me rather than berating me.
In 6 months, Sharon, I expect to be so far away from you.
Merry Christmas, everybody! Merry Christmas! I know I'm a little high, but I can explain everything. Oh, hello, Maggie. Hello, Mr. Whiteside. Shake hands with a successful playwright. I read Miss Sheldon the play last night, and she thinks it's wonderful. Oh, isn't that wonderful?
Yes, that's fine, Bert.
Isn't that wonderful, Mr. Whiteside?
Look, Bert, I think you ought to go home, don't you?
What? No, this is the biggest day of my whole life. Listen, I know I'm a little drunk, but today is a big day. We were up in Billy's Tavern all night, and I didn't realize it was daylight till it was daylight. Anyway, Maggie, listen. Miss Sheldon thinks the play just needs a little bit of fixing. 3 weeks. She's got a place up in Lake Placid. She's gonna take me there for 3 weeks. Isn't that wonderful, Maggie? Maggie, how come you don't say anything?
Listen, Bert, I suggest you tell us all about this later.
Oh, excuse me. Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas.
God bless us all and Tiny Tim.
Yes, Mr. Whiteside, I thought perhaps if I...
You know what, Doc? I'm going to Lake Placid for 3 weeks with Lorraine Sheldon. Ever heard of her, the famous actress? Oh, isn't that wonderful?
Yes, of course, Jefferson.
Dr. Bradley, I think, Mr. Jefferson here would like some black coffee, a little breakfast. Could you help him for me?
You're right, Mr. Whiteside. You know what, Doc? I'm gonna buy the biggest breakfast you ever had.
yes, that would be wonderful.
I got some friends. They don't believe in Santa Claus. Let's sneak down their chimneys and frighten the hell out of them. What do you say, Doc?
Why not?
You know, saw your glasses. You got very pretty eyes.
Listen, I'm willing to forgive this tawdry outburst and talk about this calm.
I love him so terribly, Sharon. Why would you do it? Why would you do it?
Sir,
Thank you.
Merry Christmas, Mr. Whiteside.
Merry Christmas, Miss Stanley. Merry Christmas.
I'm afraid I shouldn't be seen talking to you, Mr. Whiteside. My brother is terribly angry. I just couldn't resist asking. Did you like my Christmas present?
Oh, I'm sorry, Miss Stanley. I haven't gotten to open it yet. I haven't opened any of my presents.
Oh dear, I was so anxious to. It's right here, Mr. Whiteside. Won't you open it now?
Of course. Why, it's very thoughtful, Miss Stanley, you getting me this present. I'm very thankful. Why, it's amazing. I love it.
I was 22 when that photo was taken. That was my favorite dress. Do you really like it?
I do. When I get back to New York, I shall send you a little gift.
Will you? Oh, thank you, Mr. Whiteside. I shall treasure it. Well, I shall be late for church. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Miss Stanley. Miss Briggs!
Yes, sir.
I believe I heard someone knocking at the door. Will you go check it for me? John's upstairs.
Yes, sir. Hello? Is anyone there? Who is it?
Paulie Adler! Maggie, did you say Maggie?
Get away from me! Don't you dare come near me!
Don't be afraid of my passion. Kiss me!
Get away from me!
sign for this package, please?
Randall, put that woman down! That is my nasty mental delinquent, you!
Come to my room in half an hour and bring some rye bread.
Really, Mr. Whiteside?
Hello, Whiteside. I'm here to spend Christmas with you. Give me a kiss.
Banjo! Get away from me, you reform school fugitive! How'd you...
Daryl Zanuck loaned me his reindeer. Whiteside. We finished shooting the picture yesterday, and I'm on my way to Nova Scotia. Flew here in 12 hours. Borrowed an airplane from Howard Hughes. Whiteside, I brought you a wonderful Christmas present. These boxers were once worn by Cary Grant.
Listen, idiot, how long can you stay?
Just long enough to take a bath. I'm on my way to Nova Scotia. Where's Maggie?
Nova Scotia? What are you going to Nova Scotia for?
I'm sick of Hollywood, and there's a dame in New York I don't want to see. So I figured I'd go to Nova Scotia and get some smoked salmon. Where the hell's Maggie? I want to see her. What's the matter with you? Where is she?
Banjo, I'm glad you're here. I'm very annoyed at Maggie. Very!
What's the matter? Say, what's this? I thought you couldn't walk.
Oh, I've been all right for weeks, but that isn't the point. You know how fond I am of her. Well, after all these years, she's decided to repay my affection by behaving like a fishwife.
What the hell are you talking about?
But I never believed for a moment that she truly loved him.
In love with who? I just got here, remember?
Listen, you Hollywood nitwit, I'm telling you! This young newspaper man in town.
Maggie finally fell. Well, what do you know? What kind of guy is he?
Listen!
Oh, go on.
Well, you see, so Lorraine Shelley happened to come out here.
Oh, Hot Pants here?
Listen! The young newspaper man had written a play. You can guess the rest. I'm going away to rewrite this afternoon. Maggie's in there now, crying her eyes out.
Gee. Say, wait a minute. What do you mean Lorraine Shelley happened to come out here? I smell a rat, Sherry. A rat with a beard.
All right, all right! I did it for Maggie. I thought it was best for her.
Oh, sure. You haven't thought of yourself in years. Poor kid. Can I go in and talk to her?
No. Leave her alone.
Any way I can help, Sherry? Where's this guy live? This guy she likes. Can we get a hold of him?
Now, just a second. We don't want any phony warrants or you dressing up like J. Edgar Hoover. We've been through that together before. I got Lorraine out here and I've got to get her away.
It's got to be good, Sherry. Lorraine's no dope. There's got to be some way we can get her out of here like a bat out of hell. Say, what about that guy she likes so much over in England? What's his name again? Lord Fanny or whatever. Lord Bottomley, that's it, Bottomley.
No.
You don't catch on. We'll send a cablegram from Lord Bottomley.
I catch on, Banjo. Lorraine caught on too. It's been tried.
Ah, told you she was no dope. Well, looks like we've got a tough proposition on your hands.
The issue is, there's so damned little time. Get out of my chair, you idiot! She's taking him away this afternoon. Problem is, I've done this job too well. Damn and blast!
Stuck, huh?
In the words of one of our great lyric poets, you said it.
Yeah. Gee, I'm hungry. We'll think of something, Sherry. You watch. We'll get her out of here if I have to do it one step at a time.
Excuse me? Mr. Whiteside, Merry Christmas. I got something for you. Mr. Whiteside, but it was for you!
Don't mind him, Sarah. He's quite mad.
Don't let him stop. We shall dance. We shall dance in the snow.
Banjo! Sarah, just give him some breakfast. He's harmless. For the most part. Banjo, be careful now. It's very loud. mean?
It means, Mr. Whiteside, that I am leaving. My address is on the desk inside. You can send me a check.
And do you know, Miss Preen, that this is extremely unprofessional?
I do indeed. I am not only walking out on this case, Mr. Whiteside, but I'm leaving the nursing profession entirely. I became a nurse because all my life, ever since I was a little girl, I was filled with an idea of serving a suffering humanity. After 1 month with you, Mr. Whiteside, I am going to work in a munitions factory. From now on, anything that I can help to do exterminate the entire race of humans will fill me with the greatest of pleasure. If your study gal had ever nursed you, Mr. Whiteside, she would have married Jack the Ripper instead of founding the Red Cross. Good day.
No, Mother, I'm not. Can you not be hysterical? Thank goodness you stopped, Ernest. How did you do it?
Never mind that, Daisy. Just take June upstairs. I have something to say to Mr. Whiteside.
What about Richard? Is there any news?
All under control, Daisy. Just take June upstairs.
Father, I don't have to be taken upstairs. I'll go upstairs. Merry Christmas, Mr. Whiteside. It looks bad for John L. Lewis. Come on, Mother. Lock me in my room. Oh, June, I know you'll feel so much better after you've had a hot bath. Do you need anything to eat? How about a sandwich? There's this new thing called a Philly cheesesteak. You'll love it.
I am pleased to inform you, sir, that your plans for my daughter seem to have gone a trifle awry. She is not, nor will she ever, marry that labor agitator that you so kindly picked out for her. As for my son, he's been apprehended in Toledo and will be brought home within the hour. Not having your gift for infection, sir, I cannot tell you what I think of your obnoxious interferences in my affairs. But I have now arranged that you will interfere no longer. Come in, gentlemen. Mr. Whiteside, these gentlemen are deputy sheriffs. They have a warrant by which I am able to put you out of this house. And I hardly need add that this will be the greatest moment of my life. I'll give you approximately 15 minutes to pack up and get out. If you are not gone within 15 minutes, these gentlemen will forcefully leave. Thank you, gentlemen. Will you wait outside? 15 minutes, Mr. Whiteside. That means bags, baggage, wheelchair, penguins, octopus, and cockroaches. Now, I'm going upstairs to smash our only radio, so not even accidentally will I ever hear the sound of your voice again.
Sure you don't want my autograph, old fellow?
15 minutes, Mr. Whiteside.
Say, can she cook? Well, Whiteside, I did not get an idea. Any news from the front?
Yes. The enemy is at my rear. And
Where'd you say Maggie was? In there?
no use, Banjo. She's taking the 1 o'clock train out.
What? She's quitting you after all these years? She's really leaving?
She is.
I mean, you've got only till 1 o'clock to do something.
No, Banjo. I have exactly 14 minutes in which to pull out the damnedest rabbit ever of my hat.
What do you mean 15 minutes?
Well, in exactly 15 minutes, babies' rosy bodies being thrown out into the snow. Mine host has sworn out a warrant. I'm being kicked out.
What? I never heard of such a thing. What would he do a thing like that for?
Never mind. The point is, I only have 15 minutes. The master's growing a little desperate, Banjo.
What about laying your cards on the table with Lorraine?
Now, you know Green Girl as well as I. What do you think?
You're right.
Banjo, I want you to go in there and talk with Maggie for a bit. I need to think.
Say, if I knew where Lorraine was, I'd get a car and run her over. It wouldn't hurt her so much.
Please, Banjo, I need to think.
Excuse me, miss. Is this the YMCA?
Off me! Don't touch that! It's vintage! Ugh.
Is this man your father?
No, you idiot! Mr. Whiteside, I didn't get very far. Do you have any other ideas?
I'm sorry, Richard. I wish I were in a position in which...
Well, you're not in a position.
Thank you, officer. Here's a little something for your troubles.
Thank you. Good day, sir.
Richard, will you please go upstairs?
10 minutes, Mr. Whiteside.
I brought you some orange juice, Mr. Whiteside. Are you feeling any better?
Superb, John. I don't suppose there's any cyanide in this orange juice, eh? Great. It's probably some mustard gas from an old friend.
Say, that crazy fellow had a great hit with Sarah. He wants to give her a screen test.
Hello, is Mr. Whiteside up yet?
Yes.
Merry Christmas, darling. Merry Christmas. I've come to have Christmas breakfast with you, may I?
Why, of course. John, bring Lorraine a tray. Better make it 1-minute eggs.
Darling, it's so beautiful outside. The snow is absolutely glistening. Too bad you can't get out.
Oh, I bet I'll see a bit of it. I heard you're going off to Lake Placid this afternoon, dear.
How did you know? Was Bert here?
He came in a while ago. Worked rather fast, didn't you?
Darling, I was simply swept off my feet by this play. It's incredibly good. It's the kind of part that only comes along once in every 10 years. I'm so deliriously happy. That's Banjo, isn't it?
Yes, dear. You know, just the family circle gathering for Christmas.
Why, hello, sweetie pants. How are you?
Fine, Banjo. How are you?
I'm fine, fine. How's the mattress business, Lorraine?
You know, it's too bad that your films aren't as funny as you seem to think you are.
You got me there, Mama. You look rather hot today, though. Anything in the wind, Whiteside?
Not a glimmer.
What time does the boat sail?
10.
What boat is this?
The good ship up the creek.
I've listed everything except for the New Year's Eve broadcast. Wasn't there a schedule on that?
I think it's on the table over there somewhere.
Thank you.
Oh! New Year's Eve. Oh, Bert and I will have to hear it in Lake Placid. You've been there once, Sherry. Nothing but clear, cold, and snow. Oh, that must be Bert now. I told him to meet me here.
Great, because if there's one thing I need right now, it's an Egyptian mummy case.
Merry Christmas from the Khedive of Egypt. Why'd you send him Grant's tomb?
Oh, God! Oh, 5 minutes, Mr. Whiteside, including that! No. What has happened to my mind? Am I cursed?
Who is that man?
Oh, he tells me the time every few minutes. Pay him a small amount.
But what on earth for?
I broke my watch!
Oh, excuse me, Mr. Whiteside.
Good God!
I'll wait in the library. I've written a new chapter on the left kidney.
You know, they say I'm blind as a bat without my glasses. Pardon me.
Is he still fixing the plumbing? What's the matter with you, darling? You don't seem very Christmassy this morning. You're usually bubbling over. Who sent this to you? The Khedive of Egypt. I should really go to Egypt. Once I went to Pompeii, and I cried all night. All those people, all those lives. Where are they now? And I saw a woman there, much like myself, who had the same dreams and jealousies and fears. And where is she now? This and nothing more. Do you ever think about that, Sherry? I do. And here I am, living out her life. I want to cry. Oh, I mustn't talk this way. It's Christmas. It's Christmas.
Lorraine, dear, have you ever played St. Joan?
No. Why do you ask?
Why, there was this expression about you when you stepped in that mummy case. There was an absolute halo about you. Transcended any mortal expression I've ever felt before. Step into that case again, dear, please.
My darling, you're joshing me, aren't you?
I don't kid about these things. Please step in the case.
All right.
My dear, in that single moment, you approached the epitome of your art. Do not feel ashamed. You know what I want for Christmas? The memory of you in that moment.
All right, well, I don't know what it is I did exactly, but... Dust thou art in dust pattern!
Eureka! Hey, that was for you.
She'll breathe easy. I'll let her out as soon as we get on the plane. Say, what are we gonna do now?
One thing at a time.
Think fast, Captain. Think fast.
I'm leaving 3 carbons, Sherry. Is there anything up here? What's in this basket?
No.
Shall I file these letters? Do you want this picture?
No, throw everything away. Wait! I want the picture! Give me the picture!
The only thing I haven't done is put all your broadcasts in order. Shall I do that?
Yes! Do it right now! It's very important, very important!
Let's see before I go
I knew I'd seen this face before.
What face? How?
The time is up, Mr. What? You know what? I don't even care. 15 minutes.
I ask you, 15 minutes. But before I leave, I have one small favor to ask you. Could you call those officers in? Ask them to help this gentleman bring this mummy case down to the airport? Would you be so kind to do that?
I will do nothing of the kind.
Oh, but I think you will. You see, simpletons like you might know me only from my Hollywood broadcasts. But in reality, I got famous by broadcasting about murder. So, you could do this simple little favor for me. Or I could tell my next broadcast that your sister, Harriet Stanley, is actually the famous Harriet Sedley, who killed her mother and father with an axe 40 years ago in Gloucester, Massachusetts. Really, it's not that big of a favor, Mr. Stanley. Or would you rather have everyone in the town of South coming up to your doorstep and repeating that once famous jingle? Harriet Sedley took an axe and gave her mother 40 whacks, and when the job was nice and done, she gave her mother 41! You have to remember, Mr. Stanley, I'm giving up something too. It'd be a hell of a broadcast.
Mr. Whiteside, you are the damnedest person I have ever met.
You're a little late in finding that out. Oh, officers!
Mr. Whiteside, you're a great man.
Officers, Mr. Stanley would like you to help this gentleman bring this mummy case down to the airport. He's sending it to a friend in Nova Scotia. Won't you, Mr. Stanley?
Yes, yes.
Collect.
Banjo, you're wonderful. I may write a book about you.
Don't bother. I can't read. Don't drop that case, boys. It contains an antique. Goodbye, Maggie. Life conquers all!
Chicklin, you see the snow marbling on this thing? It's incredible.
All right, Russ.
How old do you think she is?
10 years at least.
Ah. Hey, you do it?
I'm doing it.
No, you do it.
All right.
Thank you much. My back's been hurting me for a while now. Alrighty. Shimmy her forward. Shimmy. Shimmy. And as you wait, shimmy your house, alright?
Ribbit. Ribbit.
Alright. Down, bring her down. Bring her down. Bring her down. Alright, keep her going and bingo. We got ourselves another one. Alright, boys. Oh, we'll take it from here. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.
Sheriff, was that?
It was indeed.
Oh,
A little Christmas present for you, Maggie.
Sherry, you old reprobate.
Now go get my hat and my coat. I'm leaving for New York.
You're leaving, Sherry.
Don't argue, rat girl. Do as you're told.
Or, I'll be right back.
Mr. Whiteside, sir, I want to apologize. Say!
Don't speak of it. There's been a change of schedule. Lorraine is off on a world cruise. I'm sending a plane to Catherine Corner. Maggie will explain everything.
Maggie. Mr. Whiteside, are you very busy?
Yes, Doctor, very, very busy. But if you're ever in New York, try and find me. Thank you. I love you very much.
Wonderful.
And thank you, Bert. You'll never know the trouble you've caused. Thank you, Mr. Stanley. I hope to hear sometime in the near future that your daughter has been allowed to marry the man she loves, and your son has been allowed to go off on his own bed. Or else, Merry Christmas!
Maggie, for God's sake, what is all this? I didn't know you could walk even.
It's all right, Bert. It's all right. Just don't ask any questions. Ernest, Richard is being very difficult. Going to have to go and talk to him.
Ow! Damn it!
Around the corner right next to me. Incredible set, and he literally mastermind. I don't even know how he does it, but obviously he did, and it's incredible. So another round, please. And last but not least, we have our incredible director, Mrs. Barry. Thank you. We have one more announcement. It's a minor thing. It's a surprise to at least one person in this cast. So if everyone can take a step back, and can we have Lola Cornell take a step forward? So this is Miss Lola Cornell. If you go to school here or know anything about school here, you'll have seen her in the hallways giving hugs and being the best person ever. For American Heritage Girls this year, she redid our costume and props storage. Our costume and props storage was a total mess. It was kind of ridiculous over the years. But through Lola and her family's help, they totally redid it. They have this beautiful structure where we can store our props and our costumes properly, but we can have pride where we can show possible incoming students our amazing theater. And so it is only right, and admin knows this as well, that we would name no longer the props closet or the costume closet, you know that thing above the stage where you gotta go? But now it is Lola's closet. So I think, unless there's anything else, to our amazing seniors and everyone here, thank you and good night.